Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Kindly subscribe to our channel if you're watching us for the first time. There is something going on in this country that should concern all of us. It is called femicide. This is the recent rampant, heinous killings of our girls and ladies, especially the young girls in colleges. The most recent ones are the one that involved Kenyanis, the Bishop or Pastor Kenyans' sister, and he confessed about it. As we were still pondering about the cruel murder of that lady, we were informed that another university student was found murdered and cut into pieces in one of the BNBs in Roysambu. And of course, we've had a spate of killings, and I've seen people coming out confessing about rituals and all these kind of things. The question that many people are asking is, what is the government position about this? And I'm asking this because I have read very many comments, and I know that it is a two-way traffic. Our ladies must be very careful. I have seen photos, it is not that we can't share them here, where especially some foreigners are misusing our girls. You see them dancing naked and they're showing their nudity, and people have complained that they are being misused. And so our girls must be very careful. But I want to deal with the other part from the government side. Are you satisfied with the government protection that we receive? Because someone was saying, and this was a UDA blogger called Bianca, was saying that it is only Raila Odinga who has condemned the heinous killings of our girls. And she was saying that no wonder this is why this man is called Baba. On this, she supported Raila. She never supports him. The latest killing was so heinous that Johansen Oduor, who is the chief government pathologist, said he has never seen something like this in his 20 years of career, where a body is being cut into pieces, and this person was even trying to remove the nails to, I think, to avoid evidence or something.
The head was missing. There was also disarticulation of the body, both legs, whereby someone cut the femur, head of femur, clean, so that now the legs were apart from the trunk. Other than that, she looked like she's someone who had lost some significant amount of blood, but this could have been after death. We've taken samples for analysis. One thing also we saw is that this person who did all this also tried to clip up the fingernails for a reason which I might not be able to know. And to us as scientists, when you see fingernails clipped away, we think probably the person will try to hide the evidence, so that now we are able to get his DNA from this victim. So we've taken samples which are going to be taken to the analyst for further analysis, so that the police, we can help the police to further try to apprehend the persons who did this. So when you look at the skin looked like it was cut with a sharp object, but when you look at the bone, it was sawed off with what looked like an axe. So this is a person who knew what he was doing. Yes. Yeah.
Do we have such incidences? Are they normal?
This is the first time I've come across such an incident. I've never, in my forensic life, I've never come across such incidents around. Yes. As I told you, we found that the fingernails were clipped, but some of them were still intact. So we took the ones that are there. So now we can see, because many times when someone is killed, there's usually what is called lockup principle of exchange, whereby you try fighting back. And
that was how serious it was. I'm saying this because in the previous government, we saw some kind of attempt to control the influx of foreigners that live in the country. And one Dr. Fred Matiangi used to carry out, he would just decide that on 1 week they are flushing out all these foreigners in a bid to try and control them.
Who have no documents and from countries I never even expected, or I would never have imagined they are living in Kenya. We go to Meru and find people, from Southeast Asia. We go to Meru and find people from, certain countries in the Middle East. And when we ask them, we are doing business. But okay, fair enough. You're welcome to do business in Kenya. What's your status? They say, well, I have nothing. How can you have nothing and you are living in someone else's country, honestly? So this will continue. I need to be very clear about this. This crackdown will continue. We are not going to relent on that. And we have explained very clearly through our immigration people. We don't consider East Africans foreigners. Ugandans, Tanzanians, Rwandese, Burundi, they are not Kenyan, they are not foreigners. Those are part of our family in East Africa. And we have very clear protocols under the EAC on how we work with them. What usually we ask them is identification. Once they produce the identification, that's it. That's why you have noticed from the ranks that we have and the numbers of those who have been arrested, we have 0 Rwandese, 0 Ugandans. It's not because we don't have Ugandans doing business in the country, or we don't have Rwandese doing business in the country, but they're not foreigners, basically, as it were. We're looking at people who come from other parts of the world, who are here, and it should worry you as a Kenyan that we have these kinds of people. You saw the other day when police arrested 19 people.
People are asking, because even the ministry that is concerned with this, the Interior Ministry, is quiet. And I don't know whether it is his nature of work, because Kithure Kindiki maybe does not like talking too much. But sometimes when such a thing happens, then you need to come out and tell us what you mean. I've seen him, as quiet as he is, when bandits rage in some area, he would always come and even give them a warning. What is the government position? And I was so much concerned, and I liked the statement from Fred Matiangi, and when one day he was so much concerned that some foreigners are misusing our ladies and dumping them. Sometimes they're caught with the drugs. And this is a video that has gone viral, and I want us to watch it again, because what I want us to see in it is the two aspects, two qualities of Matiangi then. Number one is the humane part of Matiangi. You see, sometimes when you are dealing with the human beings, you put your position aside, and then people see how much concerned you are. And number two was the fatherhood figure that he was, because when he was talking about how these foreigners are misusing our ladies, he was concerned, and he was telling them, he was telling the parents to ensure that even in our barazas, we train and teach our children.
You must have formal documents. So these Wakoras who are hovering around here from some parts of Africa, which you know, saying they are married to our girls, they are not married to anybody. They are just cohabiting with our children. And you know, if I had time, I would tell you more of this. Our girls are being used as mules who carry drugs. I was giving you an example. My colleagues here just now. When I was CSICT, I went to the ITU meeting in Bangkok, Thailand. I was told a very painful story by our embassy people about 2 Kenyan girls. One of them actually not very far from a village I know in Kisi, who are in jail in Bangkok because they were used as mules to carry drugs. Then they were arrested in Bangkok. One of them, a student of Mo University, was cohabiting with these 3 criminals. And that name of, we are married. So, sweetheart, let me take you out on a trip to Bangkok. And then they tell them, carry this. At the airport, when they are arrested by the police, these fellows disappear and leave our children with the bags carrying cocaine. So, in our barazas and wherever we go, let us go and educate our people, especially parents, guardians, everybody. Tuchunge watoto wetu, tuache hii ujinga hii, you are married. Go to some estates, and the IG knows. We have mapped out Nairobi, where we are going to begin the operation tonight. Some of these places we know where these drug dealers are staying, and they are pretending that they are married to our girls. They are not married to them. Marriage cannot be by word of mouth or by hearsay. You are married to our girl, you must have a marriage certificate. And if it is less than 3 years old, you must have a work permit. And please, I'm asking you, regional police commanders, when you meet any of these people telling you, I am married to a Kenyan, arrest them immediately. Wakwende. Then we deal with them properly. They are messing us up and they're messing our people up. So people must have proper documents. We are not going to play games about this.
Someone was telling me that some parents have tried talking to the children, talking to their younger ones. See, even if your daughter's in the university, she's still your child. And someone was telling me that sometimes you talk to them until you leave them in the hands of fate. But as I said, I don't want to deal with the social part where the parents have to talk to them. We know that. But I wanted to look at this aspect of the government, because I have never seen an attempt of this government to try and control the influx of foreigners. What I've seen is a trailer carrying very many foreigners into the country. And I don't know what is happening in our borders. I don't know. There are allegations that some of these foreigners will be used during elections. I don't know how true is this, but such are the concerns of many Kenyans. The government of Uhuru Kenyatta then had people who are so much concerned. Sometimes you could see Matiangi get into a school when he was before he became the interior minister, and just find out that some teachers are not in class, and you talk to them and it's telling them, you're a parent and you've been entrusted with these children, what are you doing? And that's why today, when you juxtapose the kind of leadership in the education sector, manning our exam, you'll realize that there is a big gap. The late Professor Magoha and Fred Okenyi and many others controlled things, and they were tough and they meant business. But it seems that this government is a scavenger. They have been left in the hands of preying foreigners because of corruption. You wonder how they cross the borders, they live with us, and we get such heinous stories about killings, and they are very sad, yet the government is very quiet. And this is just my opinion. Do you think the government is doing enough to protect our children? I've said that I know they also need to take care of themselves. They need to be careful not to be duped, not to be gullible to the foreigners. I understand that. But do you think, apart from the fact that we also need to be vigilant, do you think the government is doing enough? Because our government is so much obsessed about the housing levy, about the NHIF, about threatening the judges, so much that we have accepted, we have forgotten some aspects of governing the government that we need to really take very seriously. Because we have been a mockery to our country, to the neighboring countries. We are listening so much to the IMF. Today, we got another 150. Is it 150 million or billion Kenya shillings loan? Yet we said we would not. If we continue with this trend, our neighbors are going to laugh at us. We cannot have foreigners killing our neighbors. I want to ask you this question, not in bad faith, and please don't get me wrong. What do you think would happen today if a foreigner kills Charlene Ruto? It will take a maximum of 2 days, and they shall have been flushed out. All of them shall have been deported. Wengine watafungwa. I'm telling you, you will see an operation like you've never seen before. I'm saying this because there was a time But those were they bandits or terrorists? Captured and I think kidnapped one of foreigners in the country, and they ran towards the Somaliland. And that is why Kibaki decided that we are now going full throttle with them, to them, in that Somaliland. And I think that is how we ended up, if I'm not wrong, I stand to be corrected, but I think that is how we ended up in Somali. It started with the foreign, and then there was a discussion that why, if it were Kenyan, would it have happened that way? And I'm just asking, what would happen if, I'm just using Shalin Ruto as a Kenyan who is coming from a powerful family. She's the name that came very close. I think, I don't know many other daughters of these ministers and influential businessmen, or hata mtoto wa Gachagua sijui. You know, Shalin Ruto has endeared herself to the people. Recently, she was appointed an ambassador of, is it blood transfusion or blood donation or something? So, that's the name that came close. And I'm using her because she's a daughter to the president. If such a thing would happen to her, she befriends maybe a Somali or a Nigerian and she's killed, what would happen? The imagination of what would happen if she dies is what I want the government to capture and to start working with that speed that they would have used if a daughter of the president maybe was dead as a result of a foreign relationship with a foreigner. And I was trying to look at it in the sense that we had a government and how they were trying to deal. I'm not saying they were trying because I know it was never perfect. They never flashed out all of them, maybe because of corruption. Once Matiangi gives out an order, the police will come to an area and those people will give them some money and they will go. But when you are so much reluctant about something and there's laxity, the foreigners will take advantage. I don't know whether you get what I'm coming from. If you are a parent, and even if you are not yet a parent, you've got sisters, you've got neighbors and friends. And I want you to imagine that they are being killed by other foreigners. I wonder whether we can also go to other countries and commit such heinous acts. I don't know, because there's a way we live very peacefully with foreigners that, and by the way, it's amazing. It's good to welcome foreigners in the country. But are we also welcomed in other countries? Ladies and gentlemen, I think the government should do more. And if you listen to Fred Matiangi, we need to pick up from where Matiangi left. I wish we could even bring Matiangi into this government so that alainishe vitu, because I'm saddened that we are losing our girls. It is very sad for me. And I know this analysis might not be very popular, but sometimes we have to deal with humanity. Because one life lost is just lives too many. That is my take.